All right, so this particular use case is a debt settlement company. It's an outbound call to a person. They already have signed up with the company for debt consolidation, and they are going through the period of debt settlement with each one of their individual accounts. So this is a nurturing call. This is where basically someone would call back in and nurture through the relationship of the whole process that was happening. There's various use cases for this. This one is as they settle cases along the way, they have to call the customer to verify that they get their approval to settle the debt for a specific amount. And so it's a little bit of a longer call of about 4 minutes or so, but as we go through here, I can stop and explain exactly what's happening. This is a compliance call, so there has to be very specific compliance things that are put in place. It stays very specific to the script. It also helps them explain terms and conditions, such as if they were signing up for a credit card, and then that they make sure they understand these ones. And then once it's all completed, it goes back to the CRM. But during the call, the features are it's an outbound call to a prospect who applied for debt consolidation. It was accepted, and now they're going back through and accessing external data, looking at the conversation for authentication, accessing the data in the CRM solution, pulling in the settlement information along with adaptations possibly of the script based upon what the settlement would be, and then at the end verifying the customer agrees with it for compliance, and then all questions and things like that are put through are all pushed through to the CRM. So let's explore how this use case goes.
Thank you for calling AmeriCorps. My name is Heather on a recorded line. Who do I have the pleasure of speaking with today?
This is James Hunt.
James, thank you for calling today. Let me get some information from you so I can look up your account. Let's start with your telephone number, please.
It's 404-863-4601.
Okay, thank you so much for that. So let's verify your birth date. Can you please tell me your birthday?
It's May 16th, 1977.
Wonderful. What's a good email address for you, please?
James@gmail.com.
All right. And just for verification purposes, can you please verify the last four of your social security number?
Sure, that's 6339.
So at this point, they gathered all the information about the call. Since it was an outbound call, they knew all the information already. They're just confirming all this, and then they're going to reiterate it back to the person to make sure the information is correct for legal purposes and for compliance issues. And then they'll look up the information and then get on with the call.
So your phone number is 404-863-4601, and the last four digits of your social security number is 6339. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you for verifying all of your information, James. Okay, give me a moment as I look up your records in our system.
So at that point, the records are looked up after they verify it, and now it's streaming back information about their debt settlement, catching up to where their case is currently at. And this particular use case is a very specific card that was settled. You'll hear about it. You hear about the debt settlement amount that was in place, and they are basically confirming that they want to go ahead and do it with the client, and at the same time getting confirmation, because the call is being recorded, that they are going to accept the agreement, and that way it's legally binding. And then from there, it gives them some other information. Again, it's more nurturing across the process, but it gives very detailed information and follows the script very specifically, as you can hear. And this is, again, for compliance issues, which would impact financial, insurance, anything else, medical, that would have to be very specific.
Just one moment. So let's take a look here. Okay, yes. So we have some great news. We've negotiated a settlement for your Chase account ending in 2050 that needs your authorization to process and lock in the savings. Does that sound good?
Yeah, so far.
Great. As part of the settlement agreement, AmeriCorps has negotiated that all future fees and interests will be settled and fixed as soon as you authorize this agreement. So Chase is willing to settle your account with the following terms. The settlement amount of $500, that is a 50% settlement rate. That will be paid out in 4 payments. And the first payment will begin on January 12, 2024 with ongoing interest and fees set at 0. So this settlement will be considered satisfied with the creditor once the full settlement amount has been paid. Successful completion of the settlement is dependent upon you making all of your required deposits into your dedicated account. Settlement payments will be made using the funds in your dedicated account, and missing or modifying deposits during the settlement term may cause the settlement to default and be void. Do you understand these terms so far?
So this is a checkpoint to make sure that he understands the person didn't fall asleep. They're not there. This is for compliance reasons. And again, this information is being brought in dynamically and also reciprocated dynamically back to the CRM solution, which eventually goes to a database.
Yeah, they're pretty straightforward. Thanks.
Okay, let me continue. Now, if a settlement is null and void, all funds paid towards the settlement will be applied towards the balance, where the creditor can backdate and resume charging fees and interest. This settlement may likely be paid off early at AmeriCorps' discretion, based on dedicated account fund utilization and the terms of other structured settlements on debt enrolled in the program. And AmeriCorps fees will be taken for this settlement in accordance with the enrollment documents. Would you like to authorize and approve this settlement?
So at this point now, this is a legally binding agreement that's being recorded, and they know that, and so that's why all those questions were asked very specifically, and then you'll hear they go on to other information that will be helpful and also nurturing to the relationship as it continues on, because there's many other credit cards this person probably has that need to be settled just like this.
Yeah, let's get this going out of the way.
Wonderful. And that is what we are here for. We'll make sure that those payments are on time for you. As long as you stay dedicated to making your deposits, your creditors will be paid how they are supposed to. We did get that first settlement in for you, so you should start seeing more settlements rolling in, about 3 to 6 months in the program. Okay?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Well, we're happy to take that relief and that weight off your shoulders, James. And really quick, just a couple of reminders before I let you go. Keep in mind that those deposits will be labeled as Global GHL LLC on your banking statements. Also, if you stay on time with your deposits, keep your non-enrolled creditors current, and don't open any new accounts during this time, you could qualify for that Credit 9 loan within 6 to 12 months from your enrollment date. And then lastly, let's talk about your existing creditors.
So from there, it goes on to basically, we cut the script short because it just keeps going on. But it talks about other creditors and things that are in place at that point. But you get the idea. The idea is that it goes through, actually can perform the duty of an actual real person and legally bind them to an agreement that's put in place, but they have to be pre-authenticated in and double verified that you're actually talking to the real person you're talking to, not just based upon all the other peripheral behind the scenes information like the number they're calling into and the caller IDs and things like that. So this is it for the debt settlement one.